Welcome back, guys, to Chatting With. Hope you're all doing well. And today I've got a really great guest for you, a good friend of mine I've known for a few years, a retro gamer, modern gamer, collector, VHS, figures, film fanatic, does it all. Mr. GasheadSteve. How you doing, Steve?
Hello, Pete. Good, mate. And you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Doing well.
Good, man. Thanks for the intro. Sounds like a jack of all trades, don't I?
I've been working on it, so it's not too bad.
Good man, good man.
Now, I keep trying to think of how to do the intros, and I was thinking of a few over the last night, and that's just come to me, and I thought that sounded pretty good.
Hey, I'm having that. I'll keep that. Thank you.
Brilliant. So, first thing I want to get into is obviously your gaming histories, and really, where did you begin your gaming in the first place? Did you know what system you played on, what game you first played, how you got into it?
I've since I was young, I would say, and obviously we talk about this a bit later on, but I would say I've been more film-wise. I started off gaming with the old sort of like Space Invaders or what have you, on the little handhelds, the little, I can't remember what they're called, but Astro games, I think, or whatever, on the little sort of like handholds. I've had a couple of those, had Space Invaders and Caveman, I think it was. You look like Caveman running the lanes. But to be honest, I'd never really got heavily into gaming until the old Mega Drive and the SNES came out. That was my real sort of like entry to games per se. Mum and Dad did buy me a Commodore 16 when I was a kid, I mean, all my friends had Spectrums, and I really wanted a Spectrum. And then on Christmas Day, I'm kind of opening it up, and this Commodore 16, which I've never heard of before. I was quite disappointed, to be honest with you, but I hope I'll watch it. That'd be awkward, right? But yeah, I mean, like, so I kind of like, obviously, Pac-Man in the arcades, Operation Wolf in the arcades and things, but my real sort of like passion for gaming started in the 16-bit Mega Drive and SNES, where I had a Mega Drive from a catalogue, the Littlewoods catalogue, where you pay 59p a week or whatever, and you sort of like get all the newest and latest stuff. So got myself a Mega Drive from there, and a friend had a SNES. So I was always more swaying towards the SNES, if the truth be known, because I just thought they had better games, which obviously you could probably verify. And I know a lot of YouTubers, I think, went down that road, but for me personally, I had a Mega Drive, had a few games, and but I was always sort of games was always secondary to films. Games was always kind of like secondary to football. So still got a passion for it, don't get me wrong, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of where my gaming history starts.
And what sort of games were you playing back then in the 16-bit era?
So obviously Sonic was like a big thing. Street Fighter was a big thing. Altered Beast, I absolutely loved Altered Beast. I think Altered Beast was the first game I ever tried to trade in for sort of like, I can't remember what game I went for, but because it was obviously a stock game that came with many consoles, they didn't trade it in for me, and I was really pissed off. And from that moment, I started hating the game because I had a real resentment against like it not trading into the latest and greatest game. But yeah, it's sort of like I'm very I'm quite transparent with my games. I go for mainstream games. I didn't really until I was getting older, and obviously like found YouTube and found these great games out there. I was very much like Sonic, Mario, Zelda, that kind of. Even though I'm not a Zelda lover, but I was very sort of like mainstream driven. I bought all the sort of like magazines and what have you, so I kind of knew what was going on. But I was very mainstream driven with the games.
And so, did you go to PlayStation or Xbox after that? Was the situation?
Yeah. Sorry. So I made the cardinal sin of trading in an absolute host load of Mega Drive games for a Nintendo 64 at the time. Bit of a foobar looking back on it, but it was Nintendo 64, and then Nintendo 64 didn't really get on with it, so I traded everything that I bought from Nintendo 64 for a PlayStation. PlayStation. Then I obviously at that point I was working, so I bought myself an Xbox, modded my Xbox quite early on. So I was playing sort of like dodgy games on there, and then so like obviously the 360, PlayStation 3 I picked up on launch, which looking back on it, obviously sort of when you do pick up a new console on launch, the excitement and sort of like the thrill of getting it. I've still got it upstairs and it still sort of like holds dear. I've traded in everything else, mind you, but it's like the PlayStation 3 that I picked up on launch is kind of like I don't think I'll ever sell that. I don't think I'll ever offload that. And then sort of like led me on to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and the rest is kind of like, well, history, but it's obviously like ongoing history. So obviously we got the PS5 coming out and the Xbox Series X, S, Series Z, whatever it is. I hate it when they do that. It's like you got an Xbox, you got a PlayStation 5. I can roll with that. Do you know what I mean? You get like an Xbox X Scorpion, and you think, okay, what Xbox have I got again? You know, it's the same with the phones, isn't it? Same with the iPhones or what have you. It's like iPhone XS Max, or it just gets confusing after a while.
So how do you feel about next gen at this point? Are you have any interest at all?
Sadly, quite excited about it. When I say sadly quite excited about it, I know there's not too many boxes it's ticked, to be honest with you, game wise. I'm just one of those people that like the newest things and kind of like just want to have it. Excited about Spider-Man, that's a good one. Resident Evil, love Resident Evil right from sort of like very beginnings. But yeah, it's not anything that sort of like, you know, really overly excites me, because I know at the moment I don't really have time for games to really get into a game per se. That's I think why I've always liked FIFA. You know, it's like pick up and play. So probably the same with the next gen. I haven't pre-ordered. Not gonna get them sort of like day one or anything like that. I'm just gonna get them when and if I fancy it. So I will definitely get them. I am excited about it because hey, it's a new console. We're all gamers. We're all in love with games per se, and I haven't pre-ordered them.
Well, you might know that I'm just got no interest in it. So the more I hear about it, the less interest I get. And you know, like Jay was saying in the last video about the hard drive space, and it's just beyond ridiculous.
Well, that's a joke, isn't it? That really is a joke. I mean, right from sort of like the PS4 and the Xbox, 500 gigs just wasn't cutting it. And then obviously, like they bring out the PlayStation Pro and with 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte in some cases, and now we're talking. But it's not that much more expensive to get a 500 gig, 1 terabyte to a 6 terabyte. You know, just do it. Just it's a job. I don't think, and because obviously you get all the uploads and downloads and things for one game.
Yeah.
You know, what are you supposed to do? Go through like have 6 games on your hard drive and then start deleting them off? It's like that's not right, is it?
This is the thing with PS5 digital and the Xbox as well. And I think because they've gone for SSD as well. I mean, I don't know, but I assume that they're more expensive, which of course, you know, in turn is going to make the manufacturing more difficult. And I did hear that like the Xbox was costing like $1,000, but if you used to put it together yourself. So, you know, if they're selling it for 500, then obviously they're making a lot. But you're still going to have a product that people want to buy. And usually, when the consoles come to market, there's games you want for day one. Even if they're not massive graphical leaps, you're going to go, I want to play that game because either it's a sequel to a game you love or it's a completely new franchise that looks cool. I look at what they've offered us so far, and it seems lazy to me. Like they're just going, oh, that'll do. Just show them that. They'll buy it anyway.
That was the same with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, though, wasn't it? I think you know when you know I'm a sucker. It's like a new FIFA comes out and it's 50 quid. I'm buying it, and it's like there's so many Gashead-Steves out there that in theory ruin the industry because it's like we are buying the same shit year in year out, and it's not right. So it doesn't. And then obviously when you sort of incentivize somebody to do something a bit different and a bit more unique, it flops because there's a Gashead-Steve that rather than buy, you know, this thing which, you know, a lot of thought and everything's gone into, I'm buying FIFA, which no thought has been into. Medal of Honor, you know, Call of Duty or whatever. It's like very rarely you get updates for those games that are worth it. You know, whereas like there's a small company out there with all the ideas, all the sort of like putting all the efforts and all the gusto into it, and GasheadSteve walks up and gets FIFA 2022 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and then obviously sales don't do very well for that unique game, and it kind of like spoils everything, doesn't it? Really, but.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, obviously the talk at the moment, especially, I don't know if it's going to happen, I assume it is, but Americans are saying that the games are going to go from $60 to $70 for PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, if that happens and they go to, I mean, at the moment, I know that Amazon over here can charge like £50 for a new Call of Duty on day one. So if that means the games are going to go up, does that mean that's going to be 60 and the other games are going to be 50? I mean, and there's no incentive, because we all know that if you just give it a couple of weeks, the prices come down. People on eBay sell them half the price, or £10 off, or £20 off. So there's no incentive. This is what I understand about the industry, the way they're going. They're giving us small hard drives. The games are the same games we've played a million times before, and they're just reskinning them. I mean, the most egregious to me was when Sony had their press conference, and everyone went mental about how great it was. And I was going through it. Well, they got that, I can't remember what the hell the game's now called, but it's got a little girl with bow staff. Basically, it's a Horizon Zero Dawn for kids.
Okay, yeah.
And then they got the Little Big Planet game, which is Astrobot with a Sackboy.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, we're putting Astrobot on the console. Great, but you haven't said if it's VR compatible. And that's what makes that game great. It's like,
it's like they do so much right, but then the fundamentals are wrong. You know, I think the last game that I bought full price was Spider-Man, and I was just so attracted to that game. We've had that conversation. I think that's one of the best games that I've ever played, and it's like, I know it's quite controversial, but I like the cutscenes. I like to know a story fill in to what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. So I mean, my wife always skips. She's a big Spyro fan, and she like skips everything, doesn't really know what's going on in the story. She just likes to play the game, which each their own. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of these things. That's absolutely right. But for me, I like the story. But I don't know if you remember when the N64 first came out. I mean, those games were like $64.99 or something, and I remember Killer Instinct on the SNES. When that came out, it was $79.99, and people were paying it. And this was obviously like back in, you know, the good old days, 80 quid for a game. So it's like, I don't think it's too uncommon for them to test the water, because, you know, to be fair, the console prices on the PS5 and the Xbox Series 29S Scorpion XX1 is it is pretty decent. You know, it's like when these were first announced, we were talking like 600-700 quid possibly, because everything's gone up, and people will still pay it. And it's like, for them to come out nigh on 300 quid, it's like they've done a good job there. But obviously they will get you with sort of like downloads and sort of like games a little bit more costly and everything. But yeah, it's just the way of the world, isn't it? I think when you're realistic and you look back on the history of game, I don't think it's been a lot different than it is now, with companies charging what they charge, and trying to get everything they can out of it before the second-hand market does take effect. So obviously they get paid once. The second-hand market, CEX and all the trading, eBay and what have you, they get paid multiple times. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. I'm very realistic when it comes to that. Obviously, I'm a gamer and I like to sort of like get the latest and greatest, but not no more. Not for me. I'm not paying sort of like X amount. I will wait until the time comes where you can't wait and everything's digital, because that time it is coming, isn't it? When the whole digital first came out, it was like, oh no, I like collecting, I like physical media and so on and so forth. I think a lot of people's mind has turned around. I mean, obviously not ours, but it's a case of like, I think if the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox came out now and they said, right, it's just digital only, we're lowering the prices, obviously there's reasons why they haven't, why it's not cheaper, because the shops have to make their money and so on and so forth. We'd buy it, until the time comes where you can't wait, and everything's digital, because that time you buy it, Do you know what I mean? We would do the same if we were paying 30 quid a game. It was all digital, and we were paying a competitive price for the consoles. I think a lot of us would do it because we want to play the latest and greatest. You know, I think the time's gone where it was all when we started YouTube. It was very retro orientated, you know, and it was all about retro gaming. And you would very rarely see somebody picking up a PlayStation 2 game or so on and so forth. And it was all like SNES, Mega Drive, you know, so on and so forth. I think those days have changed. We're probably with the introduction of things like this. Do you know what I mean? It's like that there has got everything that I ever wanted on it for the SNES. I'd love looking at SNES boxes and so on and so forth, but that's what I got my films for, you know, and that's what I got sort of like the Star Wars figures for. I can look at those, I can appreciate those. Not taking it away from the collectors per se, because it's still a really interesting sort of like thing to collect. And I'm really not taking it away from people that are going for full sets of it. I think that's great. You know, that's your passion. But for me personally, I'm quite happy with having a SNES Mini or a Mega Drive Mini or a PlayStation Mini or a NES Mini to play all my retro games. And I think there's a lot of people out there like me, but maybe not.
Well, it does make you wonder. I mean, you're right about pricing. If you look back at the old magazines like Nintendo Magazine System, CVG, and you'll see adverts for Street Fighter 2 Turbo at Rumbelows for £90.
Yeah,
which back in the 90s, 90 quid. Yeah, I know. Throwback. But I think it is all relative pricing. You're absolutely right. If they was to bring out just digital consoles and they had like 2 terabyte hard drives, we've got enough space now to upgrade straight away, like we've got to do with the next ones.
Yeah.
And then the games, like you say, were like £30. For what you're getting with that cinematic experience, like if you say you got a Grand Theft Auto 6 for 30 quid digital, I think most people would be okay with that because you're getting a lot of game for your money there.
Yeah.
So it's relative. And I don't know if you know anything about the Intellivision Amico that's coming out that I'm a bit of a fan of.
Never heard of it, Pete.
No, never heard of it.
Please do tell me. Oh, no, hold on. Let me watch your last, 20 videos.
Exactly, yeah. You see, to me, that is a really good price point. $10 a game. Obviously, they're not on the same level as PlayStation, Xbox. They're not meant to be. But it's giving me exactly what I want. It's fun. It's accessible. I can just turn it on, play my games. I ain't got a lot last week when I put Call of Duty in my machine. I've got to download a 90 gig update for something I'm never going to use because I don't play online. You know.
You sold it, didn't you? You sold Call of Duty.
Yeah, I got it straight away. Yeah.
Off the back of that, yeah. No, fair shout. Like you said about the Amico, that Moon Patrol that you sent me the link to.
Oh yeah.
What a great game! What a Moorish game! What a game that you can really immerse yourself in. I fear for it though. It's like that's nothing that my phone can't do. And you know, I know it's like it's got different elements and so on and so forth. I do fear that people will feel that okay, it's a mobile phone, but I've got a mobile phone, so.
Well, apparently Tommy has said that the because obviously the controller is what's going to make it unique, and the fact you've got the local co-op multiplayer, so that like you can have different people playing. Like one can control the movement, one control the top.
Love that. Yeah, love that.
But he also said when you go into the ship at the end of each level, there's going to be mini games between levels, which you can only play on the controller with its screen. So I don't know what exactly that's going to be, but
okay.
Yeah. But I think. Go on.
Sorry, it's been put back quite a lot, hasn't it? When's the release?
It's the 15th of April now.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's not too bad. I mean,
my birthday. So that would be a nice little birthday present for anybody watching out there.
There you go.
Anybody, you maybe, I don't know, you. Yeah, same as James Bond, isn't it?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Start on that one. Right?
Yeah.
Got it over there.
We'll get to another day, isn't it?
Have you looked at any of the Amico stuff besides the demo?
No, literally just Moon Patrol. I do need to catch up on a couple of videos, but no, yeah, just Moon Patrol. What do you think of the actual? I mean, despite whether it's been played on a phone or on a console, all that, what do you actually think of the game itself? Then? So the game's brilliant. The game is very Moorish. It's one of those games that the playability factor, like we were talking about Spider-Man, it's like you can play that once, you can probably play that twice. You know, it's a massive game. Sort of like 20 hours per run through, probably less actually. But Moon Patrol is very Moorish. You can play the same level over and over again, try and beat your high score, try not to get killed. You know, it's got a real sort of like drug element to it.
Massively. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing it again last night. I keep trying to stop because there's new demos coming out in a couple of weeks. So I'm waiting for.
Stop.
It's just, yeah, it's on 10/10 when the 10th of October when the machine was going to originally release. They're bringing out a whole new in-depth video where it goes into the hardware, the controller, the decisions they made when designing the machine, and also going to release a new game demo, which we assume is going to be the new Breakout, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm incredibly biased though, as everyone knows. Yeah.
But that's great because it's like again, everybody's you see all these videos about the new consoles and what have you, and there's an awful lot of people that are fake about it. There's an awful lot of people unlike us, where okay, they're bringing out some good looking games, but then those good looking games have been done before, so it won't be for another year or 12 months or 18 months before that really hits its potential, like The Last of Us on PlayStation 4. Like, that's absolutely outstanding game, but it took us like 2 years to get there. I watch YouTube videos, and it's like I'm interested in the processing power. I'm interested in what the hard drive is, what the memory is, and so on and so forth. But does it offer me anything that I haven't got on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox at the moment? No, because it's they just lack with that. And what I do, kind of, there's a point to this. What I do detest a little bit is all these channels. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be brilliant. And it's like, it's not. It is, well, saying that, it is going to be great. It is going to be brilliant. But not yet. Don't get overexcited about it now, because it's just the console and it's new and it's going to have problems and it's going to take time to live up to its full potential. To watch videos about the Amico and seeing it being different and sort of something that for you in particular there's a real passion behind, that's the kind of videos I prefer to watch. And I'm going against the grain here because GasheadSteve FIFA 22, do you know what I mean? But it's like I much prefer to see a passionate video on something that is different and so on. Whether it's going to last, it's time will tell. But it's like, and we know the PlayStation 5 is going to last. We know the Xbox is going to last, guaranteed. But it's just nice to see something new and some tubers getting a real passion for something that's different, because everything else has been done before and it's boring, really.
That's a really good point, actually, because I personally, if I'm looking at any kind of tech and things, I prefer people like us who are not doing product placement, not taking money in any way. And that's nothing against people who take money on YouTube, do what you want to do. But I just prefer that more. I don't want to use words like organic because it's a bit, but that more raw sort of style where it's just somebody in the house. They've got no reasons to promote anything. They're just like when I do with the Amico videos. It's just like, I really like it, and I want to tell them a bit about it, get them interested in it.
Yeah, and that comes across, rather than sort of like when you watch the generic videos, it's kind of like, okay, that's great. There's 10 a penny there. You can watch 10 videos and they tell you exactly the same, and it'd be the same sort of like. I'm not saying everybody's fake out on YouTube when they do videos for that. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, it's nice to see YouTube being sort of like a bit different, where in an industry that's very the same, it's nice to see different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube. You have got variety, even though it has gone a lot more corporate with Google, and some would argue, like I would, that nowadays it really has gone the wrong way, and there's too many advertisements and money and this and that, but there's still us across the world. There's people like us just making normal videos, hobbyists. So it is completely dead yet.
I think with YouTube, obviously it's a topic that we might as well cover now we're sort of on it.
Well, yeah.
I think YouTube, it hasn't changed for people like you, me, Tootie, sort of like Inscos, like old school people that sat in front of I was gonna say a camera, phone, but it's like sat in front of like a video camera back in the day, and like recording. It hasn't changed a lot. In regards to like we still upload videos and so on and so forth, but the fundamentals of it is the advertisements come in, YouTube need to make money, Google's bought it, so on and so forth. It's all that's changed. I think people like us have been a bit like, why has it changed? But I think it's had to change. You know, costs have gone up and so on and so forth. So it's like I don't really neglect YouTube or Google doing what they're doing. It does piss me off, and I do pay for premium because I don't like the adverts. GasheadSteve, FIFA 2020-22, remember? So there's two reasons I pay for it. I pay because I don't like the adverts, and I download my videos to watch on the tube. So I'm like underground for sort of like.
You can do that anyway.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. 4K downloader. That's how I do mine.
Is that it? But is that on the iPhone though? Because I used to use
on the desktop.
MX Tube, and they stopped it. They sort of banned it, obviously, when the premium was coming in.
Yeah.
Mate, if I find a way to do it, I probably would.
Just literally download 4K download on your desktop, and off you go. You can download anything you want.
So do you have to download it on your desktop to load it onto your phone? Is that?
I don't know, because I just download all my stuff on the computer and stick it on an external hard drive, and I've got it backed up then.
Okay, so, I need to look into this. So bye. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Where's the downloader?
You also get YouTube Music, don't you?
Do again.
You get YouTube Music as well, don't you, for doing that?
I don't watch that.
Oh, is it?
I pay for Spotify as well, so it's like,
right.
or the wife gets it on her mobile. I don't think I would pay extra for that, but I've got all the music I need. But that 4K download I might look into, but you know, again, it's probably easier to pay. What is it still $9.99 a month? I don't know.
$12.99 now, isn't it?
Is it? It's gone up still.
Yeah.
Shit, I need to cancel it. But it's like, for the ease of use, literally, I'm sat at work, and the last it suits my sort of like process. I'm at work, 4:45. I look at videos that I want to watch on the train. Download, get on the tube. You know, I'm literally there. We're sort of like watching it within minutes. So it's like that kind of suits my whole thing. But the adverts get on my tits, so that's one reason. And the downloading, it's like, yeah. But you know, again, they've got to make their money, and you know, it is what it is, isn't it? We either get on board or we do videos, you know, moaning about it and groaning about it, and nothing ever happens. So you just come across like a miserable shit, and so just pay your $12.99 kids and get on with it.
It's just ways of doing it, though, isn't it? It's heavy-handed. It's like the reason I don't pay for premium is because I watch the videos now. Every video I watch has got to have 2 adverts before it begins. Then I go into the video, and the people who are running the videos have not turned it off, so you've got ads in the bloody video. I mean, literally, I'm watching 1 minute of a video, and an ad pops up now.
Yeah, so you used to be able to put the videos wherever you want in the timeline.
Yeah.
That's changed, hasn't it?
I've not looked into it for a while.
So literally, if you tick ads, you know, you could be in mid-speech about something, and then suddenly sort of like enlarge your penis comes on the screen. Do you know what I mean? It's like, or something random it just comes up, and then you go back to the video, which is really bad. I mean, it's really kind of like, to be fair, if they stuck 2 videos at the start and then 1 in the middle, why not stick 3 at the start, and you can watch the video and sort of like untouched as such. So yeah, no, it is shit. But again, it's like, this is another reason why I pay for it, and I think you know, I sort of like just grin and bear it and pay for it because I want to watch, you know, Snestastic's latest Amico video. Do you know what I mean? It's like on the tube, but yeah.
I think that's the problem, really, is that the majority of consumers just accept what it is. They go, "Oh, that's just how it is." They don't fight back in any way. They might have a grumble now and again, but you know, it's like when people used to always complain about game prices for years on YouTube. Like, people go, "Oh, I'm not paying $60 or 40 quid for a game." It's like, well, then if we all just stop paying it, eventually they're going to drop the price. But no one's willing to do that. No. We get a couple of people, and that'll be it.
Yeah. But that is it, isn't it? It's like if I do it, and I expect somebody else to do it, they don't do it, so I'm missing out. And it's like, oh, do you know what? I just go back to it. So, and you know, life in general, there's so much I can moan about. So it's like YouTube is not one of them. Do you know what I mean? It's like YouTube is not my life. It's not sort of like just pay your money, happy done with it, enjoy it. You know, it's like I don't really mind paying it. If the truth be known, it's only, you know, it's not a great amount. I appreciate that I'm not in a situation that somebody else might be, money wise, but it is what it is. And you know, again, I've got so much I can moan about, but YouTube isn't really one of them.
If it didn't make me feel like I was being forced to pay it because they're shoving the ads down your throat, if they just did the usual thing with one advert, I don't mind that. But when they're clearly got an agenda by putting multiple ads at the beginning, multiple ads throughout the video, obviously they're trying to say, like, you know, you need to upgrade to get rid of these ads. And it's like, yeah, but I should have that choice. That should be me, not you.
So is that taking away your enjoyment? I know the answer. Is it taking away your enjoyment of watching YouTube?
A little bit, not enough to stop, but it is a little bit.
So what if somebody told you that it's never going to change? That's the way it is.
I'd have to just pay out the money, I suppose. I'd have to just give him, wouldn't I?
Exactly. And it's like it's one of these. It's not a, you know, it's not kind of like a Patreon argument, is it? That you get an awful lot on YouTube, an awful lot of resources, an awful lot of, you know, it really isn't a Patreon thing, but it's you get a lot of good stuff for your dollar as such. Yeah.
I mean, Patreon thing blows my mind. I never understand why people are upset about Patreon.
No,
it doesn't affect you, doesn't it?
No. What I don't like is when Patreon's thrown down your throat. You know, it's like, I don't think you need to do a speech about Patreon. I think you turn around and say, like, you know, if you want to support the channel, then cool, happy days. If not, cool, happy days, no worries. You know, I think there's elements of Patreon that are for I need to pick my right words. I've got verbal diarrhea sometimes, and it just all spreads out. I think you know, it takes a certain type of. I don't value my content that great. Do you know what I mean? I would never, if I'd done a good video and we met up sort of like, and you said, hey Steve, really enjoyed that, let me get you a beer, happy days. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, I would never value my videos to a cost per se. It's like, I'm just making videos when I make videos, and I think certain people would put a lot of like slopes to game room. I know it's a bit like, I don't want to call anybody out, but I love Dan as a friend. Love his content and so on and so forth. Do I pay his Patreon? No, I don't. Would I buy him a beer when I'm out and about? Of course I would, because he's a friend, like his content. But then Dan wouldn't be able to do that content if he didn't give up his job to do the content, to entertain people. So I get the whole sort of like, you know, if you value his content and you take something away from it and you're happy to fund it, like Netflix, like Amazon Prime, it's fuck all like that. That annoys me, because it's like, you're not a Netflix, you know, you're not an Amazon Prime, you're not a Sky Sports, because there's millions of pounds that go into that. You literally sit down, do a bit of research, so on and so forth. Verbal diarrhea, I'll stop there, because it's like it's coming out a little bit. I do what you want, but what I don't like is when people moan about somebody doing what they want, because do you know what, they're doing what they want and they're making a bit of money out of. Good on them. You know, don't bitch about somebody because they're doing something that you don't agree with. Just get on with it. Don't agree with it, but don't make a video about moaning and groaning that somebody's doing better than you and making more money than you, you know, because they're doing something different than you. It's like people are different and they do different things, and they got different morals and ethics. Morals and ethics don't always sort of like entwine. It's like people up here don't agree with people down here, and that's okay. Conservative, Labour, whatever, you know, there's difference of opinions, and it's like you either accept that you don't agree with everything, or you spend your life moaning about what you don't agree with. And that's just, again, there's so many things you can moan about, so why moaning about something that you claim not to give a shit about?
And you know, we've got variety on YouTube. There's millions of channels, so if you don't like something, just don't watch it. That's my argument.
Exactly.
It's, I mean, I've made my opinions made clear on my channel on a video recently as to why I don't monetize. But I think at the end of the day, if you make the content that, like you say, if it's somebody who's doing high quality content, it's taken up. I mean, you know, yourself, editing can take a long time to do. So if you're doing videos on a regular, like every day or every other day, and you've got to jack your job in, I can understand. I ain't gonna lie, as a viewer, when I hear someone say on their videos, "Oh, I couldn't do it without your financial contribution," it does piss me off a little bit.
Yeah,
But now you've explained that, it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but literally could not do what they do without your support. So thank you very much. You know, it's the case of like, so okay, I'll take my support away from that and see what content you do. Do that. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. It's controversial, but it's so not. It's like you do what you want to do, and then somebody will moan about it, and then suddenly ads will pop up on their channel, and it's like, either keep this dumb and don't say anything about it, and just like think, okay, well, they've got different views on things, but don't sit there and moan about it on a video. Don't do a specific video to it, and then do it yourself somewhere down the line. It's like whatever. Yeah, it really is whatever. Yeah.
I think it's interesting in all the psychology of why some people like us. I mean, I know if I speak for myself at least, I would never pay for Patreon or Super Chat or buy those ridiculous £60 hoodies that some people have on their channels and things. And I don't understand why some people want to get that close to a person that makes YouTube. You know, like
it's a bit creepy, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, like the big, massive, like YouTubers have got millions of subscribers. All these vloggers now, and the kids like see them as celebrities. I find that so bizarre, and that's probably just a generation thing. But I don't know, but yeah.
Do you know what? That's exactly what it is. It's a generation thing, because there was nothing really to compare it about. But thinking about when we were younger kids, it's like football for me. You know, the idols were football and film stars and so on and so forth. If it was as open as it is now with personal Sylvester Stallone's Instagram and things like that, it's like I as a kid I'd probably be going crazy over that content. So I think YouTube has become so big that people that do videos and entertaining content do become it's like your first ever meetup. It's like you've done like meetups with Dave and sort of
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a case of it takes seconds for you to realise that hold on a second, normal person.
Yeah.
It's like rather than like I've had that loads, GasheadSteve, oh my god, bowing and things like that. It's embarrassing. I get it all the time, even though. But it's like it's not like that, is it? It's not like that at all. But then I think people like game chaters when when they're up on a pedestal and they're doing chats and things like that, it's like, and they don't sort of mingle. I think that's a bit shit. It's like these are the people that want to be your friend, but then as we know, YouTube, there's we're all gamers, we all love games, but some people haven't got a wife, they haven't got kids, they're a little bit reclusive, and you're becoming their friends per se. They look at you as a friend, and then there's just differences of life. It's like I speak for myself. It's like I've met some freaks. Do you know what I mean? It's like so I'm saying that with like niceness. It's like they're just not my kind of people. Verbal diarrhea. Shut up.
No. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's like we don't know who watches our video. So like when we meet when I met you for the first time, same as you're just Steve. We had a great day together. We hung out. I met people at the Bristol Game Market. I didn't know who they were, and they made YouTube. They were really nice. It was just normal people. When I think obviously I don't know. I've gone to the big meetups like you have. If you get people come up to you, just watch your channel, it's going to be a bit weird at first because you don't know how to react because you're just a normal person making YouTube. You don't.
Pete, I don't like it. I generally don't like it. When I do the videos, I don't know. I don't know if I come across confident or not. I feel confident enough. At work, I'm confident. I've got quite a high pressure job, so it's like I have to be. But me personally, I'm quite reserved. I'm quite sort of like take it back. I do remember, bless him, Gus Newton coming up to me in Manchester, and just before that, we literally had a 10-minute conversation online about him coming on to Desert Island Films, something I used to do like years ago, and that was fine. But I never saw his face because he always done the old video like pickups with the hands and so on. So I never saw his face. And he came up to me and he's like, you know, again, when I say bless him, it's really a case of like I must have been like, yeah, what, who, what, and talking to me like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really looking forward to doing that, and so on and so forth. Oh, brilliant, mate, thanks very much. Turned my back and I think I said, it wasn't Shocks wasn't there, but I said, so I said, I'm really embarrassed, but who was that? And it's like, you know, little things like I don't like being in the limelight. I don't like that. But then I think if you do YouTube videos, you've got to expect an element of that. So, you know, over the years, I've kind of like, you know, understood that side of it. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not big, you know, in that sense, or like even sort of like minuscule. Do you know what I mean? It's like I did the videos and I hope I entertain friends. Do you know what I mean? It's like I would never sort of like to be big, and you know, I haven't got the brain power to remember everybody, or you know, it's not me. I've got like busy shit going on in my life, and it's like, and I'm not taking that away from like people that watch my videos and like subscribe to me, new subscribers and so on and so forth. Obviously, it's sort of like thank you so much, you know, but it's like, just know that if you meet me in public, it's like I might be a little bit hi, brilliant, thanks, bye. You know, as well as it's like when you go to the meetups, you go there and you meet the people you meet, and you want to spend time with the people that you don't see automatically, and then suddenly other people that you've chatted to and come over and they want a bit of your time, and it's great that you give them back your time. And you know, I sound like an arrogant twat, but it's like you know, it really is a case of there's only a certain amount you can give, and you know, there's only a certain amount that you can sort of like you stretch yourself so far before you just like, you know what I mean, before you kind of go a bit reclusive. But it's weird. Meetups are strange because again, it's very diverse. You know, the sort of like the people that we interact with and everything, and certainly not in a bad way, but it's kind of sometimes you think to yourself, oh, what have I done here? You know what I mean? It's like YouTube in general. I've had my trolls, you know, it's like I don't really deal very well with trolls because
I can't imagine why.
This is not in a bad way. When I see things, you know, comments or this and that, if somebody really pisses me off, I want to hit them. And it's like, obviously you can't hit them because you don't know who they are and everything like that. So I see this and I think to myself, oh, you fucking wanker. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Literally, I think that way. Yeah, YouTube is not for the faint-hearted, is it? Really, unless you shut off for everything, and see it for what it is, just some, you know, whatever. It's a strange place sometimes.
It is. It's like I don't mind as much when you get like people leave weird comments or shitty comments or attack you, and you click and there's nothing there. It's a blank channel, blank icon. You go, oh, right, fair enough.
Important. If it's somebody with a video,
yeah,
and you get to see them, it's like, well, do you know what? I know what kind of person he is, so
yeah.
Whatever. And I see, like 0 subscribers, 0. It's like, who are you?
The funny thing was, a couple of weeks back, I had someone leave a pretty over-the-line comment, as far as I'm concerned, about me on my video, and I thought, right, okay, why have you written that anyway? Basically, called me a nonce, right? So that is like, you know, in real life, you don't do that in real life, do you, right?
No.
So
well, you wouldn't do that in real life, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
It's like, really?
Exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah. So I clicked his channel. He got about 2,500 subscribers and made regular videos. And I was like, why would the only time you've ever watched my videos, I assume, leave that as a comment when you've got a subscriber base yourself and you're making video? Why be a prick? You know what I mean? There's no. So strange people. Yeah. But
yeah, well, that was not a Britney Spears video, now, was it?
No, it was one of my recent ones. So he was just an arsehole. So yeah, and he wears a balaclava, so you know, what can you say?
Oh, well,
yeah. And he's probably not. Yeah. So,
speaks volumes, mate. Speaks volumes. But you know, each their own. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, if he thinks you're nonce, then why is he watching you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, what? Why? Just why? But yeah. You know, again, like delete, move on. whatever.
You can spend too much time otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it does sit, doesn't it? It does sit on you, and it's like at least you know what he is. You know, now you sort of like see his videos, and it's like, but whatever, you're not. He doesn't know anything about you. But the problem is with people like you and me, you put your heart on your sleeve, and it's like some of the videos you've done have been brutally honest. It's like brutally honest. It's like that's a conversation with two mates. Do you know what? This happened, so on and so forth. And back in the day, it'd be like, oh, you can't do that, you know, so on and that's all it would be. But it's like you put yourself out there, and it's a great thing that you do to say like, hey, do you know what? I think this about this, and you know, and I'm sure like with some of the things that you've put, it's like you get a lot of support, and you get a lot of like people coming out and saying like, do you know what? I think the same way. You know, good on them for doing this, or you know, so on and so forth. And then you get that one twat with 2,500 subscribers with Balaclava on, calling you a nonce, and it's like that's the one that you remember.
Absolutely.
Not the 120 that has gone before that said like, do you know what? Bit odd there, Pete, but it's your views, and so on and so forth. Or like, you know, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
So 2 words, fuck them.
Yeah, as you know, most people who leave comments, I'd say 99.9% of the time, are really saying, I'm always positive. You know, it's just that, as you say, that you get that, you can have like 200 brilliant comments on a video, and then one dickhead leaves a comment, and you can't, you want to just let it go, and you delete it, and you block them. Yeah. But it plays on your mind, and it's just like, well, you wouldn't, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't. It's not my nature, but it's like when I was a kid, it was like angry man. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a trigger on there, and it's like that's what I think gets me with trolls. And I'm certainly not inviting trolls. Please don't like start trolling my channel, because it's like I'm not that bothered. But it's like literally I like to hit things that piss me off. Or I did like to hear things that piss me off, but it's like you can't hit a troll because you don't know who they are. But guaranteed, if you ever find out who they are, God help them. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's so. But you put yourself out there on YouTube, and you express your feelings on something that might be controversial or whatever. Expect a little bit of sort of like thing coming back, and water for ducks back. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's how it should be. But then you think to yourself, why has he gone through the effort of doing that comment? What have I ever said to him? You know what? Oh, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, I just don't understand people who leave comments to thumb down videos. Now, actually, if I start watching a video and I think someone I don't know who they are, just say I'm watching a random video about a phone review. I'm like, oh, he's a twat. I'll just turn it off and watch someone else.
Yeah. You won't go out and say like, oh, don't agree with your phone thing. I think iPhones are shit. You're a twat. Why? You know, it's like, no. That's why the thumbs up and thumbs down is things is pointless. It's like it's pointless both ways. I think, you know, it's like thumbs up, great, brilliant, thanks, you've enjoyed the video. But leave a comment, tell me what you've enjoyed. Thumbs down, great, whatever. What do you enjoy? You know, it's like, are you just being a dick? Because if you are, move on.
And you know, bots as well. That's the other problem. I mean, a couple of months back, there was I watched a video where someone had figured out who it was that was doing it, but there was someone had created bots. And every time a video is uploaded to YouTube, you get a generic comment saying "great video," and it was just, I don't know, it was something to do with it takes you to their, if you click on their channel, it would hack your computer and put like spyware and all that kind of stuff on it. And there's a lot of that going on, so you do have to just be careful around. But before we move on to other topics, the first thing I want to ask you is YouTube. What got you interested in the first place? Why did you start making vids?
Oh God! So right, YouTube for me. When I started using YouTube, it's to watch music videos, watch film clips, like, you know, Rocky IV, Final Fight, or whatever. You know, it's like to watch things like that. And I think what got me into YouTube as it is now, like making videos and stuff, is you and Interghost. So both of you. I used to watch your videos, your pickup videos and what have you, and it's like it's something that I really wanted to do. I really wanted a collection of this. I really enjoy the videos. I wanted to make videos and so on and so forth. And it was like, that's all it is really. I think making videos like triggers something a bit artistic about somebody. I knew I could edit videos. I knew, you know, that was, I haven't, you know, there's very few videos that I've really put massive effort into. But I like the artistic side of it, you know, where sort of like you sit down, you do your bit, you chat about something you're passionate about, you play around with the edit a little bit, you make it look all fancy, and then you upload it and people watch. Well, you'd like to think people watch. But it's a case, I think, what attracted me, that sort of side of it, is I moved to London in 2001, and all my friends, pretty much everybody I knew, are still down in Bath. Really good friends as well. Like, I'm blessed with my friends, really, and they're all from sort of different walks of life as well, which I really like. I've got really geeky friends. I've got really sort of like, you know, well-to-do friends. I think I'm blessed with that. And then obviously YouTube, you get to know people who have become really good, like yourself, become really good friends from YouTube. So there's a lot of sort of like reasons why you do it, for the sort of like the goal at the end. But it was a lot more to interact with people, I think. And the old saying, like-minded people, you know, it's like you don't walk into a nightclub and say, hey, you into games? Hey, have you got a Mega Drive? Hey, retro gamers, where, you know, you don't. It's like, I don't know what these dating apps are like now. Maybe like retro gaming geek, you swipe left or right or whatever it is. But it's like, it was always about like-minded people, and you know, sort of like watching that hobby grow, and that's kind of like. And then obviously over the years, you become sort of like friends with a lot of people. You watch more because there's more content coming your way. There's more friends that you want to watch. You interact. The collabs have been fucking brilliant. I loved doing collab videos. Haven't done one for a long time. But yeah, it was the interaction, and I guess, like, you know, leaving everybody behind from Bath, who still get in contact with, still got Facebook and so on and so forth. But it was kind of lonely, I guess.
Right. And what's your experience been like since you've been doing YouTube? Is it mostly positive?
Yeah, good. I mean, I like mostly positive. I think the most negative thing that I've had is the you know, when you haven't made a video for months, weeks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and you put yourself under pressure to make a video, but you don't feel like it. But then you don't want people to forget you, you know, or to worry about you. Also, obviously, like, I've got my health issues and things like that. And if I went AWOL for a long period of time, I've got a couple of messages in the past saying, "Hey, mate, you're all right." I'm quite active on Facebook and social media with that regards, but you know, it's a case of I just don't feel like sticking my face in front of the camera, which is weird because I've got loads of videos to make, but I just can't pull my finger out and do it. Whether that's like my mojo or work or life in general. That's probably the most negative feeling that I have from YouTube. Spoke about trolls. You know, they can do when they come and go, whatever. Negative comments, again, it's one of those things that you just accept because you put yourself out there. But yeah, I think the most negative is the pressure I put myself under. But all in all, the positives outweigh the negatives 100%. 100%.
I think we all do the pressure thing. I know myself, when if I haven't made a video for like a couple of weeks or a month or something, yeah, there's only been once where I took a 6-month break, and it didn't bother me because at the time I was moving house and I was got so much going on. I just thought, well, you know, if people are still there when I come back, great, but I've got to do my life. It's more important. I think, yeah, when you've not been doing it for a while, as you say, you can have like a load of ideas come into your mind. You know, I want to do this video, that video, and that video. But then it's just getting that motivation. And I find that the best way to do it usually is when I've got some free time on a Sunday afternoon or something, just force myself. Just go in there, sit down, turn it on, see how it goes. If it comes out shit, then don't worry about it, do it another day. But if it comes out great, then, you know. But
yeah, I've definitely sat there with a couple of videos and it's like, hey guys, GasheadSteve here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, GasheadSteve here.
Yeah,
Hey
15
guys,
takes later.
GasheadSteve, it's today I've got. But it's like after a couple of attempts of that, it's like, do you know what? Fucking do it. I ain't got time to mess around. Hey guys, GasheadSteve here. I got this. Brilliant. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye. Bye. So yeah, it is a case. I think you're right. Sit in front of the camera, talk some shit for a couple of minutes to yourself, and then crack on. It's not easy though, is it? It's not sort of like. I mean, to do videos, it's great that like so many people put themselves out there. Because it's like it's a confidence builder as well, isn't it? Where you sort of like all you're doing is talking to your camera, and it's like people get nervous, and it's like all you're doing is talking to your camera. It's like me, it's just me and you, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you get however many views, it's like great, brilliant, but right at this moment, no reason to be nervous, no reason to be sort of like shy or reserved or worried about what we say, because we're just talking. It's just me and you. It's like we're friends. We're just having a chat. But yeah, sometimes you need to gear yourself up. Hey guys, guess do you know? It's like
yeah, it's getting the real energy and I'm not faking it, and that's the hard part. Yeah. I've had many times when even recently when I've sat down and tried to do a video, and I'll keep saying the same word, and I'll go, why do I keep saying that? And it's like, Jesus, like 15 takes later, I'm still doing it, and I'm like, and then I'll just suddenly just do a take, and it'll go perfect. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, that's it for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's the old ums and ahs as well, isn't it? It's like sometimes you feel yourself doing it. It's like picked up this remote control and yeah, I got this. Bristol Rovers pint glass. I like that, and thanks for watching. And you watch it back, and you think, "Oh my God, what have I just done?" It's like nobody's gonna watch that, Or thumbs down, bad comment. I
always find it funny and all. I don't know if you've had this yourself. I'm assuming most YouTubers do. But sometimes you'll film a video, and you're not quite sure, and you put it in the editor, and as you're watching the video, you go, "Damn, that's a good video." It's not like being egotistical. It's just like, I nailed that,
So me and Shocks was talking about this. It's a case of like I think I'm quite a funny fucker sometimes. So some of the things that come out of my mouth is like, oh, didn't even think about it. It's just verbal diarrhea. It's just coming out. I have been in stitches editing my videos. And it's like, oh, I need to cut it right now. I need to cut. Yeah, that facial expression. Yeah, oh my God, you fucking nailed it there, mate. Oh my God, you watch the millions of subscribers come through the door now. This video is going to get so many views. Boom. So, I do chuckle at myself sometimes.
So, obviously, we're going to get onto films in a bit, but I just want to ask you about the retro gaming. Were you collecting before you started YouTube, or was that something that came with YouTube?
So I was doing car boot sales before YouTube, and I was picking up a couple of retro. I think, I picked up a massive. Answering your question a minute ago, what really got me looking at YouTube was I found a Nintendo 64 bundle in a car boot sale, and it was like he was always to sell it on. It was always to make money on it. And I started watching videos on this one particular game, and it was like I think a couple of pickups of yours and Integrates came up. And it's like I was definitely into retro gaming before YouTube. Not as much, certainly not collecting, because I was living in a flat at the time, so there was no space there. But definitely into sort of like into retro gaming beforehand. Yeah.
Where are you at the moment with retro gaming? Are you still cutting it back, or you're just on the minis? Yeah. It's got them all.
That's it, mate. I sold a PS3 bundle on eBay a couple of weeks back. I don't think I've got a few Xbox, but I think that's the only PS3 game that I've got left. Classic. Yeah, so good.
Classic.
But yeah, hold on. But I've got this because it's Rocky, and it's not because it's a Master System game. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm not actively collecting for it. If a nice SNES game comes up, like a Super Return of Jello comes up, and it looks good and it will look good on display, might pick it up. But yeah, not really actively collecting though. Moved on to steelbooks, so film steelbooks.
So that's the next thing I was going to ask you. Obviously, you've got 2 channels. You've got Gashead Steve, and I don't know if it's still live, but you've got Gashead's Graveyard Shift as well.
Yes.
You still making videos on that channel?
So no, because
okay, short conversation.
I really like, so you know when you kind of like find a channel and he's done a really good video, or they've done it, or she's done a really good video on a certain topic. You know, it's like I watch somebody who does car boot sales. She's brilliant. She's really like natural. She goes around, you know, you watch her collect it from a car boot sale, sits down and shows you what she's got. She's a real natural, but she also does makeup videos, and it's like it's all amalgamated into one video. And clearly, I'm not interested in makeup videos. So when my subscription get loaded up with sort of like foundation and lipstick and things like that, and sort of like the latest sort of like mascara that's come out, it's like I will probably unsubscribe to you, and I'll probably miss those little hidden gems of the car boot sales. It's a real shame. So it's like for me, I'm active in the horror community as well, and it was like that's a real passion. But then I think of myself, films in general. So what do? You have one channel for retro gaming and geeky stuff, one channel for horror, one channel for films, one channel for probably football, one channel for this, one channel for that. Where does it stop? And like everybody that I've asked, it's like, no, it's your channel, you do what you want. But then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about Gina, who does her makeup videos. You know, and it's like, so I wanted to separate that, really. And I done, I think it's only got about 4 videos on it. It's got about 3 pickup videos, and one that I've done. It follows a film review, which I really enjoyed doing. Could have polished that looking back on it. And it got really good feedback. So it was like, that's where I wanted to be, sort of like doing that. Again, the sort of mojo comes into it. You don't do one for ages. And then about a year later, I done a Fright Night one. And it took me forever to do. Uploaded it. YouTube said, we're not having that. Copyright. And it's like the amount of effort that went into that video. I look back on it and I get it. You know, I'm not unrealistic. I'm not sort of like, you know, but the amount of effort that went into that, I kind of gave up. I don't want to give up. You know, I just want to persevere and get it right next time. But it's like you get a bit disheartened. So then I find myself sort of like flipping between GasheadSteve and Gashead Graveyard Shift. GasheadSteve, Gashead's Graveyard Shift. It's a ball ache. So it's like, it's still live. It's still there. I've still got 4 videos up on there. I would love to be uploaded on there. I don't think I've got many subscribers, and it's a case of like, if I put that effort into something, I want people to see it. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure people want to see it if you put a lot of love and effort into it. So if I did do that sort of like Fright Night one, would I upload it on both channels? Probably would. But then loading it up on both channels, is that not pointless? Is that not sort of like an extra hoop to jump through to get people to watch, you know, what you spent a long time on? So yes, I have both got channels. I have still got both channels, but I'm not that active on Gashead's Graveyard Shift, unfortunately, which, you know, I think I've explained the reasons why I wanted to separate it. But I ain't got time for GasheadSteve. Do you know what I mean? So there's certainly no time for 2. But I feel really bad because Slopes Game with Dan done me a really good intro for Gashead's Graveyard Shift. I've still got it. I still want to use it. Maybe I'll do a sub sort of like section on GasheadSteve. But
yeah, it's difficult with the film. As you know, I've got a film channel as well, and it's choosing your lane really, because I've tried reviews, but I'm just not good enough at doing that, so that's gone out the window. And I think from watching a lot of film channels, it really is either you're a really good reviewer who knows everything about how films are made, or you do Blu-ray pickups. You know, to make your lot, you know.
Yeah, no, quite right.
So I've got to do a new video for that channel at some point. I've done my Blu-ray collection, as you know. So when I buy, so I've got so many films I need to buy at the moment. So
yeah,
I want to catch up eventually.
Do you hear about Cineworld?
Yeah, I just saw that on the news earlier. Yeah, I know. Is that permanent or is that just for a short period of time?
It looks like they're going under.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, so and that's like obviously quite a major like chain going down. You know, it's a case of I think the finance don't add up. I went to see Rocky 2 at the cinema last night. Fucking like they done Rocky 1 on Friday night, Rocky 2 last night, Rocky 3 tonight, which I'm going to, Rocky 4 tomorrow night or next night, and so on. So they're doing them all. But there's talk about them closing as soon as like tomorrow. So yeah, gutted.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Actually, that's going to be a question I was going to ask you. Have you gone to the cinema? You have. What's the experience like where you are at the moment? Is it okay?
So yesterday, the first film I went back to see was Tenet, which I loved.
Was it good?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You WhatsApped me that, didn't you?
Say again?
Didn't you WhatsApp me about that one when you saw it?
Yeah,
I think you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. No, I went to see it. I done my Letterboxd review, which I really like that. And I was like blown away. 5 stars, 100%. It's very clever. It's not linear at all. Sorry, the experience. So really, it was all right. It was all right. I mean, like, I had a mask when I went in. Took it off when we were watching the film. That was it. Last night when I went to see Rocky 2, they were telling people to wear their masks inside. Which I struggle. You know, it's a case of I think everybody does, but it's like I don't like anything restricting anything. Do you know what I mean? I don't like restrictions on my body. Careful. That's a whole different video.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah, no, let's not. Thumbs down. Comment nonce. But it's like, yeah, no. So that wasn't very pleasurable. So I kind of like stopped myself up with food. I was eating it really slowly, and sort of like the mask was dangling off my face, and people just don't get it. You know, they just don't sort of like, you know, I don't like it, but I understand why. Some people just don't get it, and they don't understand why, and they don't want to understand why. So it makes other people feel uncomfortable. It was quite busy. I would have said there was probably about 30 people there, which, you know, is quite a lot. I think the same when I went to see Empire Strikes Back a few weeks ago. But obviously the restrictions weren't in place about wearing your mask inside. It was all right. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't anything sort of like too bad. Like I said, I just don't like the restrictions of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my cinema is tiny. It's an independent cinema, so they've got a really good setup where you can go in the front and come out through the fire escape. So it's all pretty well laid out. I haven't been yet because there's been nothing. I've been waiting for a film to go and so I wasn't bothered about Tenet. I'll just watch that on like streaming or Blu-ray or something. I ain't that fussed. But the biggest thing I think is like the people. Like you say, if there's like 30 people, you've got to be able to trust those people.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risk, and you know when you can watch, especially now because a lot of films are getting put on streaming services as well, like Amazon and Netflix and whatnot. Makes you think what's like the new film that just came out recently this week is on my local cinema, which is what's it called now? The Chicago trial thing. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like a political drama thing about some event that happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
But that's on Amazon. No, Netflix. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. Just got check Netflix just to see what's on there.
Why would you go to the cinema?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a shame because I'd much rather go down there and have the proper experience.
Yeah.
But you know, it was going to be Bond, but not now. So
do you know what? When you say that, I mean, obviously, I've watched Rocky 2 countless times. Goosebumps, like goosebumps when the training montage starts, when the fight starts, when they both get decked. It's like it's a different experience. And you know, I've got a 75-inch telly downstairs with Sonos surround sound all around there. Experience is brilliant, but there's nothing like the cinema. It will be devastating if that goes under. Absolutely devastating. It's like I can't begin to comprehend a life without cinema, to be honest with you.
What do they do is the question. I mean, I was talking about this with my dad earlier about how Hollywood are going to solve this, because Tenet at the box office has been okay, but I don't even know if they've broken even yet, to be honest. I mean, it's not looking good. No. And then it's like, what do they do? Disney put Mulan out for $30, which seems like a lot of money for a single person like me. It is a lot of money, and it'd have to be a film like Bond to make me pay that. But if you're a family, obviously 30 quid, it's nothing really when you think about how much they charge for tickets. Yeah. That's the only real solution they've got. They keep pushing these films back to 2021, 2022, but then all the films that are coming out those years are going to get backed up.
Yeah. Well, this year in regards to filmmaking, I think it's gone, hasn't it? You know, I don't think they've made much of a film, so I think it's just this year they need to write off. But I think that's what they should do. They should write it off and, you know, release these films on streaming. You know, it's a case like you said, it's like I probably would pay 30 quid for James Bond. You know, so I wouldn't, because we know a few websites. But it's like, obviously that's the danger, isn't it? It's like for every sort of like one that would pay 30 quid, you release it on a streaming official website. It's on the dodgy sites within minutes anyway. So I guess they would lose millions. But then do they write it off to save the industry, or do they sort of like hold on to it, and then this time next year or this time April, where's it going to be showing? Because there's going to be 2 cinemas in London. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so again, 2 cinemas in London will be packed for the rafters. COVID. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, and there is no simple answer. I think sort of like the government are doing their best. Do you know what I mean? I think like there's not too much they can do about it, but every single hospitality industry, we at work let go about sort of like 18 restaurant workers. The cleaners are kind of like on the sort of radar. I don't know about security, but whatever, the building still needs to be secured, I guess. But it's unprecedented times. I just don't. You know, I would hate to look back in a year's time and think, oh, they've done that wrong. You know, rather than sort of like, you know, a company like Cineworld, a massive company, makes billions, millions. You know, it's like on the brink of going bust. It's like, oh my god, you know, how serious is this?
Yeah,
fucking serious, you know.
It's the problem is though, it's like, if you think about it, if everyone just plays by the rules and uses masks, there's no reason why you can't go to cinema.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have nachos and bloody hot dogs and stuff. You can just take a drink. No, well, people shouldn't do that anyway, even if there wasn't a pandemic, because that really pisses me off. I was thinking like, as well with the finances, the one thing I will definitely be paying for next year is the Snyder Cut. I mean, however we get that in the UK, I've got to support that because it's been a long time coming.
Well, you know that's not going to be a straight to Blu-ray thing. They need to make their money out of that, because it's like they need to make money. You know, they need to like capitalize. They lost, didn't they, on Justice League?
I'm not sure. I don't think they lost. I think they did actually okay. I just don't think it was like massively profitable. But I think they got a decent amount for it. Yeah, I know they're definitely over even anyway. That whole stuff. I've subscribed to Cinema Blend and they're doing a weekly update video on the Snyder Cut.
Okay. Yeah.
More and more you hear about it recently, and it looks as though like they were saying that Zack Snyder pulled a flanker basically, because he saw that the fans wanted it, so he started putting bits and bobs out and trying to push for it and pretending that the cut was better than it actually is. Yeah. And then of course HBO Max goes, oh okay, Warner Brothers go, yeah, we'll do that then. And now they're looking at like something like $70 million to do reshoots and all this other stuff. Like, oh my god!
I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed with the film. Anyway, so it's like,
you didn't like the original one.
Yeah, I think something, you know, the excitement of a film that really should have blown everybody away is going to be redone. is a good thing. Definitely, is a really good thing. So,
and like myself, you like Man of Steel and BVS, don't you? So
yeah,
this is like the ultimate. Because I think it was originally going to be 5 films he was going to do, only, but obviously with reshoots now, you can sort of make this into a trilogy. So it should be really.
Do you know what I didn't know about that £70 million? That's like that's criminal. That's like we released my original cut. But we need to get all the cast back. We need to film and crack on with that.
They've got to finish Henry Cavill's moustache and all. They've got to change all that now. Because this is the question, right? I keep hearing different things. Like they said that Joss Whedon only reshot, I think, like 15% of the film. But now I'm hearing it was more like 85% of the film. So therefore, most of the film is not Zack Snyder's. The film is going to be split into 4 one-hour episodes. So even if it was 4 hours and Joss Whedon, that film we got was his film, so you're still talking an hour and a half, 2 hours extra footage that we're getting. But it's going to be a completely different film by all accounts.
Do you know what it is? It's to get mugs like me and you back on the seats
Don't take much.
In the cinema. It doesn't take much, yeah. And 2 minute Jack Snyder, I'm there. That's it. Yeah. I'm there. Take my money.
I just can't believe it's happening. Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah. What was it you didn't like about the one that acted proper cinematic release they put out?
Right. So right from the very off, I thought Superman looked ridiculous, and you know when you sort of like get something like that, and it's like, and it's kind of ruined. It did not feel complete. It did not feel like it felt like a 3-film trilogy all rolled into one. I don't know why, because there was so much information going in there. They were playing so much for catch up for Marvel, and they tried to do it all in one film. Do you know what I mean? It's good. I'm watching The Boys at the moment. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't, yeah.
Right, so it's the same as Umbrella Academy, where it's like picking one character, you get to know them. There's other characters, and there's an interesting little thing going on there, but that's for a later episode. It's like they tried to snowball you with everything, and it didn't work. That's why. But you need to watch The Boys, because that is excellent.
It's too much series to catch up with at the moment.
No. There's one series, Pete, and that's The Boys.
The trailer put me off, to be quite honest. When the first season, I was like, I don't know.
Have you seen Umbrella Academy?
No, I didn't watch that. I didn't like the look of it. So, it's just to be honest with you, right now, film-wise,
cut.
I'm totally up for all these new superhero films. I love them all, but when it comes to the TV, after the Arrowverse, I'm kind of a bit worn out. Yeah, once Arrow ended,
So I never watched the Arrow. I never watched Arrow. Never watched Gotham.
Gotham's not worth it.
I watched Supergirl, which I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons, but for whatever reason, just haven't carried on with it. The Flash is probably my least favourite DC mainstream character, so I haven't watched that.
TV show was good at one point.
Yeah.
I hated the Justice League film version. Though I hate Ezra Miller. Oh God.
Yeah. Again, it's like they start with fucking no mustache Superman, and then end with a race. It's like it just didn't work.
It was too much comic book service there. That was because apparently that's in the books and that's something the fans wanted. And I'll tell you what I didn't, because Justice League is, like you say, is a weird film with like a mishmash of everything. And like for the first part of the film, the opening scene, which apparently is one of Joss Whedon's, where Batman's on the top of the building with the villain and the parademon. I thought that was great. And the film started going pretty well. But then I found out that Henry Cavill's mustache looks stupid. The Flash is a really annoyingly shit character. Batman is a complete pussy and not Batman of BVS and Man of Steel era. I don't know what the hell they've done to Batman. Wonder Woman and Aquaman were fantastic. But then at the end of the film, I hate, and I know people have different opinions who read comic books, watch Christopher Reeve and all that, but I cannot stand that version of Superman, that red, white and blue, citizens, let's go and save everybody bullshit. I want that dark Zack Snyder, evil looking Superman. That's what I want.
So I love Christopher Reeve in Superman, and I think sort of like going rewinding back to the 80s, that's what that era was. It was like superheroes, like in the American way, so on and so forth. But I completely agree with you. I think the Dart sort of like confused, you know, kind of like, does he sort of like do everything right? No, he doesn't. You know, it's like the whole Batman versus Superman thing where you could agree with both of them. I love that. You know, you could see both sides. So, yeah, I agree with you. I disagree with you on Christopher Reeve. I think that was a product of his era. You know, it's like that's what
it was good at the time when I was a child, but I just when Henry Cavill did it, I was like, oh, it's so corny. Yeah. And you know, like you say, BVS, especially the Ultimate Edition, you watch the full 3-hour cut, and you get a lot more of Clark Kent investigating Batman and going to Gotham. Yeah. And it's so brilliant. And I think a lot of people have seen the theatrical release, and I still remember the day when I saw that theatrical release, not knowing anything about comic books, only knowing Batman and Wonder Woman from the TV shows. And I was in that cinema, and my jaw was on the floor. And now, afterwards, obviously seeing the Ultimate Edition, I know that like 90% of the film isn't there. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense. You have to fill all the gaps in.
I was amazed that people didn't like Batman vs Superman, the theatrical and the uncut. I mean, that's like, I get it. You know, it wasn't what people were expecting, but then fuck people, because this is a bloody good film. You know, it's like Star Wars. You know, they played on too much fan service, where it was like, but they gave you a little bit and they took it all away. It's like, I'm not going to talk about like Last Jedi and sort of like Skywalker, because Force Awakens was amazing.
It was,
and yet it was based on A New Hope, and there was elements on there and so on and so forth. But they gave you exactly what they wanted, or what you wanted, and then they took it all away with The Last Jedi and made it into a Mickey Mouse Disney film. And it's like, it's look. I think I've watched it about 4 times now, and the more times I watch it, the only thing on there is that throne room scene where they kill.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely, looks amazing. But yeah, what a turkey.
Yeah, that is the only bit of the film. I've watched it a few times, and the more I watch it, the more annoyed I get by it. Because when I saw it at the cinema, I thought it was okay. And I remember doing a video on YouTube going, oh yeah, it was decent. I really enjoyed the porg and all this, that, and the other. And then I watched it a few months on the Blu-ray, and I'm like, Jesus, this film's shit. You know, that throne room's the only good bit.
Yeah. The thing is, the film shit, the storyline's not very good. Really not very well acted, really not very well edited. And it's like, the acting and the editing should be seamless. It should be perfect. You know, it really should be, shouldn't it? You know, but yeah.
That's Ryan Johnson, the director.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
What about Rise of the Skywalker? What do you think of that one?
No, not good. Let's not talk about it.
It was a weird one. I watched it, you know, and I thought it was AJ again.
Same here, mate. Watched it at cinema. It was okay. Yeah,
it's all right, isn't it? It's just
yeah.
It's sort of like not as good as Force Awakens, but slightly better than Last Jedi.
Yeah. The thing is with Star Wars, it's like they are making films based on some of the best films ever made. Never going to be that. You know, it's never going to be that. But you have to honour those best films, and I think they just did it in a throwaway. It's like Chewbacca getting his medal at the end. A lot of people like that. I thought, why you ruined the fucking film? So why you ruin it even further by giving? You know, it's like, oh, there we go, peasant. You know, have a little bit there, and then what we'll do, we'll take all this and sort of like fuck you all, but have that little bit there, and you'll like it. Okay, you'll like it. It's like, well, we won't actually. We hate it even more because you've tried to flog us off. But Disney just wanted it ended, didn't they? They just. Yeah. But the Skywalker trilogy, there's another thing that gets me. The Skywalker trilogy ended at Return of Jedi. They didn't have to reboot it. They didn't have to bring it back. There was nothing at the end. You know, apart from the books, I don't know if you know about this, but The Heir to Emperor, where it was like basically the sort of like Emperor's like descendant takes over. They were good books. There was a good trilogy of books. But it certainly wasn't about what they made it out to be. But
It's a shame. I think it was just that because JJ didn't want to do all three of them, and he did Force Awakens, and it was brilliant. And then they brought Rian Johnson in, and they went, sod what JJ's done, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't plan it all out right from the beginning. They planned the trilogy, it'd have been great, because Rey and Finn are good characters.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know everyone hates Rey, but I don't give a shit. I think she's good.
No. She's good, but they ruined the character, you know, they've completely made her into something that she shouldn't be anyway. And it's like, I didn't like the whole, I liked the fact the Emperor was back. I thought that was cool, that was brilliant, so on and so forth, but it wasn't led up to. And it's like, oh yes, Snoke's a clone. It's like, sorry, was he? Well, what? You know, it kind of like if Abraham's done all three of them and he shoehorns something in there, and it's like, so you can then watch The Last Jedi after the Rise of Skywalker, I think that's good. You know, it's like it's like I can't remember what they're called. The Kylo Ren's group.
I can't remember who.
No, I can't remember.
The First Order.
The First Order,
Right.
Yeah. No. The Knights of Ren. The Knights.
Knights of Ren. Yeah, sorry, got you. I mean, the First Order's the whole thing, isn't it?
What a tease. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of like in the Force Awakens. What a sort of like flashback of all these people like looking menacing, and it's like, who are they? And then everybody's talking about it, and it's like Last Jedi, you get nothing, and then sort of the Rise of Skywalker, you get them a little bit, and Rise of Skywalker, Chewbacca's death. Yeah. If he'd have died then, if he'd have blown up in that ship,
this is what they do now.
Completely lost control. You know, it's a case of what a shocker, what a sort of like real. And then 2 minutes later, he turns up on the other ship. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It's like kill him off. You know, it's like that's a real intent. You know, people would hate that, by the way, but for me, it's like that would have been like Rey. She's the Emperor's daughter. She's lost it. She's just killed a legend. Then sort of Rey goes into herself and comes back out and so on and so forth. That would have been a much better film.
Yeah. Well, when they killed Han Solo, everyone went mental. And it's like, well, that's the kind of thing you need to do.
Yeah,
a clear mark between the two types of film, you know.
Yeah, but that Han Solo was always on the cards, wasn't it? He was on the cards from Return of the Jedi when he asked George Lucas to kill him off, but George Lucas, he's not that kind of film. And then suddenly they do that. It's like, yeah, that's how he's. But there was an outrage that they didn't have Luke, Leia, and Han Solo all in one scene together, and Chewbacca. Yeah.
It's like, to me, that's just like Justice League in a way. It's the other way around. Now you've got two films leading up here in all this information and bringing all these characters together, and then Joss Whedon comes in and ruins it. It's like, thanks. No.
So that's so many sort of like disappointing things there. It's uncanny, and it's like just write them off, move on. Let's see what they do with like the Mandalorian now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, which they've started off really well with. So yeah.
So what have you been watching recently? What films you watched? Because obviously we had a lot of time, haven't we? So.
I think the modern one was Tenet. Saw The Empire Strikes Back at the cinema, great experience again. Rocky 2 yesterday at the cinema. I haven't really watched Bill and Ted's.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that.
Let's move swiftly on from that. What else have I seen?
Thinking back at the beginning of the year as well, because we've been on lockdown, so there's been like The Invisible Man and all those films that came out.
Yes. Okay, so The Invisible Man I loved. Brilliant film.
Incredible.
The Hunt.
Yeah, that's really good, that was.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. And again, that was one of those ones that didn't have a clue about. You know, it's like, what's all this about? And it's like, obviously a bit of a battle royale rip-off, but great. Really enjoyed that. The Invisible Man, I love the whole sort of like eeriness to that.
Brilliant,
there was that bit when she was being locked up in the prison or the mental home, and she was trying to do that, and he stopped her. And it was like everything leading up. I was trying not to like be massive spoiler, but everything leading up to that was her going mental, and and then suddenly in the blink of an eye, it's like, you know what? I'm not going mental. I know exactly what I'm doing. Got ya. And it's like that's brilliant. That's really
So well done.
Yeah, really well filmed. Yeah, not that many films. More sort of like retro films again, more sort of like just catching up because there's been nothing coming out, is there?
I've been going on Amazon and finding absolutely loads of films I've never heard of and never seen. Films from like the 90s, the 2000s, and just randomly just going, oh, I'll give that a try and watch it. Yeah, well, in the last couple of days, I've watched 2 films I've never normally watched, but I thought I'd try them anyway. One was Crazy Rich Asians. I know. I thought I'd give it a shot. I heard it was good. So it's actually decent, yeah. No, it's actually I like Henry Golding, the actor. He's in The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie film, which was brilliant as well.
Brilliant film, yeah.
What a film that was! Oh my god, that was excellent. And he was in was it Last Christmas with Emilia Clarke, which was also actually a surprisingly good film. I saw that at cinema last year. So.
Well, I haven't seen that, but Emilia Clarke makes me want to see it straight away. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I watched the film the other night after Crazy Rich Asians called Man Up, which was Simon Pegg. Right. It's a British film. It's basically a woman who's I think she's in her mid-30s. Life's gone to shit. She doesn't know what to do with herself, and she wants to find a man and all this kind of thing. Yeah. And she goes on a train ride, and when she's on the train, she meets this woman, and she's got a book, like a self-help book. And she falls asleep. The woman leaves the book for her and says, like, give this a go, it might help you out. And before that, she's told her that she's meeting a bloke on the train station. She's got the book to show him, so he knows who she is. But of course, she's now got the book, so she gets on the train, and Simon Pegg thinks she's the date, and she just goes with it. Really funny film. I was quite surprised. I know it's cheap. What else did I watch? I watched the film the other night. Hang on, I'm trying to think. What day is? Oh yeah, that's what I watched. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Hang on, I'll just find out what it's called. I've got it on the list here. So it's a World War II film I think it's just come out.
Not 1917.
No, I haven't watched that either.
I did watch that. That's epic. It's like all done in one shot. It's not one shot, but yeah, that's a really good watch. Really good watch.
It's called A Call to Spy. That's what it's called. It's like one of them true event things from World War II, and it's about how the British were trying to infiltrate into France and take the Germans out, and all the spies kept getting caught. So they bring in a female who works for the government, and they task her with finding people who don't look like spies. And it's about how she recruited these 2 women that are completely unrecognisable as spies, and one's got a disability, the other one's a pacifist. And it's about how your face go, what? But honestly, it's a really good film. So I'm not saying it wrong, but
do you know what? I do like films like that. It's like 1917 is like obviously based around World War One.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because the trenches. So obviously that's a massive story going on there, but the story of the film is really little bit of it. It's like it's not even sort of like so they're all sort of like going around World War One, and then literally the film is them getting from there to there, and that's it. But it's like obviously all the way through they meet different people with their own stories and so on and so forth. It's just really well done, but it's really simple, which I like Tenet, I like sort of like Inception and things like that, where you think, but sometimes when you go to the cinema, when you watch a film, you just want simple. It's like you're going from there to there, that's it. And it's like whatever happens in between, and it's kind of like a throwaway moment, where there's an action bit there, there's a dialogue bit there, there's a love interest there, and so on and so forth. But it's all built around this sort of like big World War One thing. So yeah, no, I like films that are linear, based around something a bit bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to push myself more to watch films that I wouldn't normally watch. I mean, one of the films in the last couple of years is one that I know both of us love, which is The Greatest Showman, a film that I would never have watched beforehand. Yeah, a musical, but I thought I'm going to give it a try, and I ended up watching it 4 times at the cinema.
The story with that is we went to the cinema to watch, I think it was Die Hard. Like Die Hard was on Cineworld, and we went there, and Sarah mucked up the tickets. My wife mucked up the tickets, and we sat there, and suddenly like, dum dum dum, dum dum comes on. It's like, this ain't Die Hard. And we had The Greatest Showman booked on the Thursday. So this was like the start of the week, and we had The Greatest Showman booked on Thursday. It's like, do you know what? Let's just sit and watch this. And literally, you know when he's looking in the window and the hat, the shadow. And I said, I like this. I like this a lot. And then sort of like started doing their first sort of like song, and it was beautifully done. You know, there's like a kid in the sort of like back streets with the bread or with the apple with the ball. It's like, you know where that's going. Mate, the Greatest Showman is right up there. But I mean, it's really hard. It's like, give me top 10 films. It's like you always change, but it's like 100% it's up there, and that is going to be a Grease for the 2000s. You know what I mean? It's like in 20 years time they'll watch that back and think, fucking hell, that's epic.
I would love to see a director's cut there, because there's a lot of stuff in the trailers that was chopped out, because you can see that the film moves along quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see. There's a scene that was in the trailer where, you know, when they're in the bar, him and Zac Efron, and they do that number. I can't forget the name of the song now. Best bit, yeah.
Do you know what? If we had this chat like right here, right now, I'll put the offer in. I do, yeah. That. Oh, brilliant!
It's an amazing film. It's I think I might watch it later, because I've been meaning to watch it again. So
yeah, I've got here we go. I've got a special edition of it, and it's such a brilliant.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that steelbook?
So it is a steelbook. This is a what is it called? Meta Labs. I can't get it on there, can I?
What do you get with it?
Let's say again.
What do you get with it? Is there any art cards?
I'll show you if you can give me a second.
Small Hugh Jackman.
But yeah, you get Hugh Jackman inside. And what's her name? She's in there.
What, Zendaya or
Zendaya.
What's the one out of Mission Impossible, the really hot one?
Rebecca Ferguson. So Rebecca Ferguson is
pretty.
It's basically the Zavi steelbook. So the guy that I bought it off of, can't really show you that well. I've got a video on there, but the guy that I bought it off of basically wanted to keep the Meta Labs one, and this version goes for about 80 quid. And
I cannot find
20 quid because it had like a Zavi steelbook, but it's just got a little booklet in there with sort of like scenes from the film or what have you.
Brilliant.
Fucking Greatest Showman is.
Have you got a soundtrack?
On Spotify, not on CD or anything like that.
So I've got CD and vinyl.
Yeah.
I've got a CD and that's good vinyl. Yeah.
Was really tempted by the vinyl because it had the songbook in it, the version I was looking for. So, but I just never did.
Vinyl's fantastic. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Yeah, I haven't had a film like that in a long time. I was like, I've got to buy the soundtrack. I've got to have I've got the 4K Blu-ray. I've got to, got to watch it.
Everything.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's really weird how that sometimes a film will just hit with you like that. You know, and other people are like, well, I don't understand why you like it so much, but it's like there's just something special about it.
Just watch. I'll tell you what, The Greatest Showman, because it's all about like dreams and sort of like, doing the things that you want to do, regardless of all the things in your way. Go for it. You will succeed if you've got that mindset. I left my old job because of The Greatest Showman.
Bit bold.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't enjoying it. There was a lot of stress and so on and so forth. And I watched The Greatest Showman, and it was like, it's really kind of like unlike me at all. I watched it, and it was all about like, going after what you want to do and the positivity and everything like that. I just watched it. I watched it in cinema like about 6 times. Kept on watching it. It was like, do you know what? I'm fucking going to do this. I'm going to sort of like, give up what I'm not happy doing this. I haven't. Do you know what I mean? Fast forward 2 years and it's like, oops. But it's, it's one of those things. It brings out the positive side of you, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's just funny how things can do that. It can be a person, it can be a song, it can be a film.
Yeah.
It'll just strike a chord with you and just completely change the direction of your life, which is, that's what entertainment's supposed to do, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are you at the moment? Obviously, I know you're buying your steelbooks again. You're back on that, and you're into a little bit of dabbling with the VHS, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
So what's the situation? Are you collecting, or are you just buying choice items?
I've got 2 collections going on. I've actually got 3 collections going on. I'm going to move the camera, so if anybody's listening to this, have a look. So this is the Outtro 1.
Nice.
The really expensive rip-off, like pay £8,000 for it. You get a monthly and so on and so forth. That's one collection, so I'm building that. I'm not building it because all the episodes are down there, all the issues are down there, and I need to put them all together. So that's one collection. Another collection is my steelbooks. So steelbooks, VHS, like you quite rightly pointed out, I haven't got an awful lot, but the ones that I have got, so I've got all the Rockies, I've got Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I love the cover, Back to the Future 2, Vamp, Fight Night 2, Running Man, and so on and so forth. And Star Wars figures is my 3rd collection, which they're just, I mean, look.
That's pretty good, actually.
Really? I mean, it's just like, so that's a repo, the snakes are repo, the reproduction, the sticks are reproduction, but they are still great. And there's a couple of figures that I've got that still smell like Star Wars figures. He does.
So these are all the original figures, are they?
So these are all the original figures.
So you don't keep them in the plastic, then you just have them out.
So no. So if you buy, let me give you an example. If you buy him in the plastic, you're looking at about £500.
Oh, and how much lives?
So this is why these like about £20. But
okay, bit of a difference.
I've got they bought them all out, didn't they? Do you know what? I've got more collections actually. They bought them all out in this format.
Oh yeah, there you got them on card.
Collection, which are literally reproduction of the original. So I like those as well. I am collecting NECA figures.
What are those? Are those the big ones, are they?
Let me show you. No, so that's the Hot Toys. That's the one that Jay alluded to the other day. Yeah. So Hot Toys are dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
They are sort of like £300-400 for one. So these are NECA figures.
Right. Oh, nice. Hey, that's brilliant. That's really detailed for a small figure as well. That's pretty good.
But
his jacket looks really good.
Say again.
Jacket looks really good, like the wrinkles and everything.
Yeah, it is really good. So, and they're quite posable as well. They're quite sort of like, drop the gun. But yeah, so you can sort of like pose them like you can with the Hot Toys. So they're cheap Hot Toys basically, but.
That's Transformation Leatherface.
Yeah.
I'm not up on my horror stuff, so I'm still learning. So.
Very good, Leatherface, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And fucking Funko Pops are still making an appearance in my collection.
I thought you gave up on them.
Hey, I did. I did. And they started coming back in. So,
you got that massive.
But problem is for Funko Pops is like there's so many good genres out there. It's like Ghostbusters, love Ghostbusters, love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, love Back to the Future. There's a Funko Pop for it, and it's like, so what do? You get one, and then you think to yourself, okay, I'll just get the rest of the Ghostbusters because hey, and then suddenly stop. But what stopped me buying them was the Star Wars ones I bought off of Spider Geek. I bought 250 quid's worth of Star Wars Funko Pops. There's like 70 there. Got them home, put them all up, and there wasn't enough space. And it was like, I'll just put some over there. I'll put some over there. I'll put some up there. And it just looked all cluttered. And it was like, okay, where does this stop?
It never does with it.
Yeah, so Funko Pops are like few and far between. So
I've never got a VCS system, weirdly. I've only got one. I bought the one Funko and that was it. So, and that's a music one as well, that is. It's from a band with 3 people, so I should have bought the other 2, but
yeah,
the price went up on them, so I thought,
that's the danger, isn't it? You get one, you want the other one. It's like this here, the Hulkbuster. I've always wanted it, and I found this at a car boot sale only a couple of weeks ago for like a couple of quid. So I was like, I'm definitely having that. But then after that, I found Night Monkey from Spider-Man.
I've just watched that again.
Oh, mate.
What a film that is.
That part there, when he goes in the prison and the prison warden is wearing his uniform,
yeah,
in hysterics, and he's like, he's on the phone to his missus, blah, 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 Night Monkey. And it's just funny.
What a great film that is.
Yeah, what a stunning film. So both of them have done really well, and I'm gutted that there's a bit of sort of like to and from him whether they're going to do another one. And
have you heard the latest news?
No.
There's a rumor yesterday going around, and this was in the Hollywood Reporter, so it's not a crap rumor. Allegedly, Jamie Foxx is coming back, and he might be playing Electro.
I did see that. No, I did see that, and I don't know how to take that.
Well, I did. I'm sure I read somewhere a while ago, and I might be imagining this, but I swear to God, I saw an article somewhere that said Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might come back. Now, if you look at what they've done with the with Far From Home with J. Jonah Jameson, obviously they brought the same actor back, and then you look at they're doing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
it's perfectly plausible they could bring back the other Spider-Man and bring back Electro. Just don't bring back Rhino, of course. I mean, shit.
No, please don't.
Oh my God.
So I really liked, obviously, the Green Goblin class. Good.
Yeah.
I really like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's. Not a patch on this one. It's like they've nailed it. They've nailed it with this. He's a kid. He's an immature kid with immature stuff going on. Yet he's a superhero, and it's like that's brilliant. I like Sandman as well. I thought Sandman was a really good story. All he wants is his daughter, and it's like I like emotional ties to films.
Yeah, Marvel seems to be getting it so right. I mean, I'm not too sure about his upcoming TV shows, because it's just so frustrating. They're tying everything together. So if you don't watch WandaVision, you're not going to know everything about Doctor Strange's multiverse. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to watch WandaVision. I'm not interested in it.
No, that was like a Buffy and Angel type thing, wasn't it? It's like one week, like Buffy vanishes. She goes off to see Angel. And then she comes back. It's like, how's everything gone? And it's like, oh yes, it went well. And then you have to watch Angel, but you can't just watch one episode. You have to watch the storyline up to it. And it's like, they were both good. I was watching that anyway, but I just didn't like the whole. They did that with Star Trek as well, didn't they? With Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, where it's like one episode they would stop off at Deep Space Nine for refueling, and then get off and have a little walk around and what have you. And it's like, I get the whole Easter egg thing to that, but sometimes,
yeah, it's frustrating. They did it with the TV Arrowverse as well. Every year they'd have a special event. So when I stopped watching Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, and Black Lightning, and then they did a bloody crossover, and I had to watch an episode of each of them just so that Arrow made any sense. Yeah. And it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Marvel is interesting, man, because obviously I'm assuming that if they do bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, it's in response to the absolutely amazing news that the Flash movie on DC side is now going to have Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, which, to be fair, is far superior. I mean, yeah, I watched the '89 Batman the other week. I've not seen it since '89.
The original.
Yeah,
sorry, not the original, the Michael Keaton one, was it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the original was Adam West, if you want to go back that far. But yeah, the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. And it's funny because I haven't watched it since it came out, that I always was never that keen on Jack Nicholson. And I watched the film, and that film is outstanding. I mean, it really holds up. Yeah, I don't like Returns, though. But
I don't think I watched Batman since its release, actually. I watched Batman Returns a couple of times since, because it's kind of like a Christmas film, isn't it, with snow? Yeah. So I think I watched that a couple of times, but Batman and Robin once was enough. And then what was the other one? What was the fourth one?
Batman Forever was the other one.
Batman Forever, yeah, with Val Kilmer, wasn't it?
I've got to watch. Is it Batman and Robin with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Is that what? That's the only one I've not seen. Because I watched Batman Forever, and while Val Kilmer wasn't very good, there were elements of the film that were quite good. And I know most people probably disagree with me, but I actually thought was it Chris O'Donnell who played Robin?
Yeah.
He thought he was pretty good. I quite liked him. So.
Yeah. So I liked. I can't. I don't think I could pronounce his name actually. The guy that played Robin in Batman Dark Knight and things. The cop, obviously, like ends up in the Batcave at the end, doesn't he? On the Dark Knight Rises.
I can't, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes. Yeah.
It's sort of alluded that he's Robin, isn't it? I remember that. The Dark Knight Rises, what a great film. So, oh my god.
Yeah. So again, it didn't. I think. Well, I might be making this up actually, but after the Dark Knight, which is perfection in regards to the film, to bring out the Dark Knight Rises, it's like it wasn't as good as it was always going to get knocked. Never.
I think Dark Knight's massively overrated, but there you go. Yeah.
No, it's a genius. It's like
it's a good film.
Nolan's crowning glory, I'd say.
Batman Begins. Yeah, best one of the films. Yeah.
Do you know what though? They're all great, aren't they? They're all great in their own.
Yeah, exactly. None of them are bad. I mean, all three films are excellent. And people who slag off Dark Knight Rises because of Bane, I don't get that because that is like one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, but, I think the reason they slagged it off because of Bane is that, and they're speaking a bit muffled, and it's like people don't understand him. Which is what happened in Tenet as well. I don't know if you've read things about this, but there's a lot of action going on, and the dialogue's not as clear as sort of like that Smash over there. So I think it's a Nolan thing. It's a Nolan thing, but I really like Bane. Really liked him.
It's just, I mean, I remember people criticising it for Batman fighting in the snow, and I was like, it looks amazing. It looks so good.
Yeah, doesn't it? What do you think of what's his name from Twilight? I can't remember his name.
Oh my god,
Robert Pattinson.
That Batman trailer. Holy shit! What a trailer!
Yeah, I was really kind of like, oh my god, Robert Pattinson. Oh my god, what have they done? And then you see the trailer, and it's like, that's gonna work.
Oh my god,
really is gonna work.
I was worried about the director, to be honest, because he did those two Monkey films, and the second Planet of the Apes was absolute shite. I hated that film. I nearly fell asleep in the cinema watching it, so I never watched the third one. And when I found out that what's his name now, Matt. I can't remember his name, the director. But anyway, when I found out he was doing the Batman, I thought, oh, Matt Reeves. I thought, oh god, this is going to be shit. And when that little trailer come out, I thought, okay, no need to question him again.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
I mean, they got like Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. If he's commissioner at this point, I don't know if he is. It's only year 2, isn't it?
I don't think he is. Yeah, no, I don't think he is because I think they mention it in the trailer. That excites me.
Catwoman as well looks amazing. Colin Farrell as, I think he's Penguin. I mean, what the hell's that about? That looks weird.
Yeah.
And that scene when he just beats the shit out of that kid is just...
That is just class. That's a proper sort of angry, well, I'm pissed off now. You fuck me around. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. It's like, that's our kind of Batman, isn't it?
Vengeance. I love that. Brilliant. Can't wait to go and see that. And I'm really excited because we've got that. And now that, oh God, who is it now? I've forgotten his name. The bloke who's took over at DC. This is why the Snyder Cut has become a thing because of HBO Max and that. There's all this talk now about because Ben Affleck's coming back to maybe do like a little bit of a scene in Flash. I'm going to assume him and Keaton are just going to do like a little flashback sequences, or it's going to be like the Flash will go through time and meet him and all that.
Yeah.
The opportunity now, could Ben Affleck, if he decides to do this, come back and do his film? Yeah. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
It happens. I swear to God, if he's, because that apparently the script, I mean, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, but the script he wrote, everybody in Hollywood kept saying it's the greatest Batman script ever. So I want to see that.
Yeah, no, that would be good. That's what I think is so good about it. They've opened the doors for that. They've really kind of like opened the doors, left little Easter eggs there for people like you and me to talk about it. And then when it happens, great, brilliant. Whereas like with Justice League, it was like they didn't open the door whatsoever. They just like slammed it open. And it's like everything coming through, and it's like no. That's
they did do one good thing there. The best thing they did with Justice League was the post-credit scene with Deathstroke. When that happened, I was like, I nearly fell off my seat in the cinema. I couldn't believe it. You see Lex on the boat, and then Deathstroke gets out of the boat, takes his mask off, and I was like,
yeah,
holy shit, what are they doing next?
Yeah.
Then of course it went wrong, and that's not going to happen now. See, that's the other reason for Ben Affleck's Batman as well, because he was going to fight Deathstroke. So
yeah. So, do you know, it's such a shame with things like I remember. Obviously, going back a couple of years, the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension with Peter Weller. Right at the end of that, I love the film. Really confusing, but love the film. Right at the end, it comes up that it's like Buckaroo Banzai will return in the Adventures of the Justice League or something. And it's like really excited for that. And then obviously not having magazines or the internet back there, and it's like, when's this coming out? When's this coming out? When it's not. It's basically not coming out. You know, it was just a little teaser for a film that they were hoping to make, and then somebody pulled the plug on it, and it's like, oh, well, never mind.
It's the problem with a lot of Hollywood now as well. They're insistent on building up for a sequel. It's like, just make a solo film. So like they used to make a film. If it's successful, then you can talk about a sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, the budget's now being 150, 200 million. Yeah, and you get a film like Invisible Man, which is 8 million, and you look at the visual effects in that film, and you think, how the hell did they do that for 8 million?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's frustrating.
I know. It does like make you bang your head against the wall a little bit when you see Superman's moustache being taken out really badly, and it's like, how have they done that? You know, that should have been the biggest film for a long, long time. And okay, fair enough. If he's doing Mission Impossible as well at the same time, you wait, you know, or you do it sort of like you make sure that you talk to the Mission Impossible directors that can we get all his scenes out of the way, and then you can film, you know, Tom Cruise jumping off a building, breaking his leg or whatever. Hey, that had an effect on it as well, I believe. So yeah, it's
yeah, because apparently it's Paramount when they're the ones that said they can't shave it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the clip that's online at the moment of Tom Cruise because he's doing 7 and 8 in it? I mean, is it 7 and 8 now?
Yeah.
Fallout was that 5 or 6? I think that was 6, wasn't it? Yeah, 6. Fallout.
Jesus.
Yeah, because 5 was not Ghost Protocol, it's 4. Number 5 was Rogue Nation. That's right. Number 6 was Fallout. So 7 and 8.
And do you know what Mission Impossible, apart from the second one, which
exactly.
Well, it was different. It's not necessarily a bad film. It was just different to what we wanted. They've been brilliant, haven't they?
Absolutely fantastic.
They have been stunning.
I keep like deciding if I should put number 2 in the collection. It's only like £3 for the Blu-ray, but it's such a shit film. I won't watch it. So
and this is the whole argument with like collectors, isn't it? It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Apart from to look at it, and it's like, is that worth it? It's not really. It's worth
just
it.
A collector thing.
There's one bit with 2 that I really enjoyed. The Dove bit, you know, when he breaks his fingers and he's got that tape over his mouth. That's kind of cool, but that's the only bit.
I mean, visually, the film's really cool. Not all the greens and things. He really goes into the lab and all that. All really nice, and there's, you know, the bike scene at the end is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But it's like John Woo didn't know what the hell he was doing with that film, and it was just a mistake.
No.
Yeah. It's a weird thing though, because you get the Brian De Palma classic, which is my favourite. I love that film. It's a proper spy film. Then you get John Woo do that mess, and then JJ comes in and makes Alias the movie, which was fine because I love Alias.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly go to number 4, which was I've forgotten the bloke's name now, but that was a complete departure. It sort of did like Fast and the Furious. It goes more towards the action, and now you got Christopher McQuarrie, his name, right? Who's just absolutely killing it now. He's just phenomenal partnership.
What were you going to say about Tom Cruise doing his stunts?
Yeah, there's a clip online a couple of weeks back. There's like a massive ramp, like on the side of a hill or something. And he's on a bike with a parachute, and he just drives off it.
And it's him. It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's him.
Wow. What a man, eh?
When you watch Fallout, I watched it a couple of weeks back again, and that bit when he's flying the helicopter to the end, and you can tell 100% that it's not fake. It's him flying the helicopter.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Yeah. And he's got a film coming up as well that he's going to do. I can't remember what. I don't think they'll give it a name yet, but he's got Elon Musk involved, and he's going to film the first film in space. So
and you know it's going to be him in space, floating away from Earth, like, you know, punching.
What I'm hoping for, like, is it Felix Baumgartner, the bloke who did a skydive out of space?
Yeah.
I want him to do that. That'd be amazing.
Do you know what? He'd probably fucking do it as well, wouldn't he? Jesus.
And we get, like, he skydive from space, and as it goes through the atmosphere, there's a plane, and he sort of lashes onto the plane. It takes him to safety.
Then goes through the atmosphere, survives that, and then lands perfectly, jumps off, puts his tuxedo on, and goes to, like, woo the ladies. Yeah.
I can't wait to see those two films. It's so good.
Yeah.
What films are you looking forward to, man? I'm not entirely sure what's coming out other than Bond.
No, do you know what? I'm really confused. Wonder Woman, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course,
looking forward to that. James Bond, looking forward to that. I've kind of had my fingers off the pulse a little bit. A Quiet Place 2, looking forward to that. Whenever that comes out.
I know. I need to get a list up ready to see what's coming out, because everything's getting all the time.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, no. I think, like, you know, if you'd asked me this 7 months ago, I'd probably been able to reel this year off for you. But I think just getting a bit confused. It's like, when's things coming out? And there was a couple of indie films that I was interested in. I can't remember what they're called though. Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone.
There's Unhinged as well with Russell Crowe that came out. I want to see that at some point.
So Unhinged. What's that about?
Russell Crowe is in his car and he gets cut up by a woman in traffic, and he has a road rage incident because she won't apologise. So he basically stalks her and tries to kill her. So it looks really good.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, no, I like the sound of that. I like anything that, again, triggers emotions. It's like Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh, what a film! Yeah.
What a film! And it's like everything he does, I felt. You know, it's like everything that he's done, everybody's felt once, but obviously it's like amplified. But yeah, what a film that is! Have
you seen The Craft, the original one?
Yeah.
They've remade it called Craft Legacy, and it's coming out next month on VOD. Right? Yeah, exactly. That's my thought as well. And the trailer came out the other day, and before I put the trailer on, I thought, well, this is going to be shit. They're never going to do The Craft right again. Now, the trailer was okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it was all right. But the thing that swung it was right at the beginning of the trailer, the Blumhouse symbol come up, and I thought, okay, it's Blumhouse.
Okay, yeah.
It's like immediate, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they've made some shit films, but they're still fun to watch. You know, like Happy Death Day is not the greatest film, but I really enjoy it.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah. It's a great film. Again, it's a throwaway film. Have you seen the second one?
Yeah, not as good.
No, it's not as good, but it kind of entwines with. It's like a part 2 of part 1.
Yeah.
You know, where it like entwines. I love the whole sort of like thing like that. Say again.
Sorry, George Countdown that came out recently.
No.
It's on Amazon at the moment if you want to watch it anyway. It's, yeah, you get an app on your phone and it tells you when you're going to die.
Oh yes, yeah. No, yeah. Did I download that? No, I don't think I did. Because I think you I think you put me onto that when I was sat in the garden. It was beautiful sunshine, and it's like we're WhatsApping, and it's like, yeah, do you want to find out when you die, Steve? It's like, no, thank you.
Did Blumhouse, did they do Truth or Dare? I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they've done Truth or Dare.
Fantasy Island was out theirs as well, I think.
Yeah, Fantasy Island. Did they do House on a Haunted Hill?
I'm not sure. I think they've done a lot, because I looked at Wikipedia a few weeks back to see what films I'd missed. And there's a hell of a lot.
Mate, you know, if we're talking about those kind of films, then you're looking at like Hammer House, aren't you? You know, that kind of film. It's like if they started doing Frankenstein and things like that, I'll be.
Well, that's coming. Because the Mummy failed, and now Universal's trying again with the monsters. And I think, I don't know if it's, I think it's Frankenstein. I think Blumhouse are actually involved. I think I'm not 100% on that. So that's a good thing. So we're going to do The Invisible Man with Johnny Depp originally, but now they've done this one.
So, I think Johnny Depp was busy, wasn't he?
A little bit. He's got a bit of a legal issue. Also, Halloween as well from 2018, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, love that. Looking forward to Halloween Kills and Halloween. Yeah. Halloween Kills and. What's the other one?
Yeah, I can't what one's called.
Shit. I hate it when this happens because it's like really Halloween Forever. No. Really look forward to it, and that was supposed to be coming out this month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a real shame. It's like
Yeah.
when I went to see that in 2018, because when I was growing up as a kid, I wouldn't watch half of these, terrified the hell out of me. So all the Freddy Kruegers and Jasons and Michaels, I never watched any of that stuff. It was all my dad's films. But for some reason, I saw the trailers for Halloween, and I knew Blumhouse was involved. So I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot. And I watched it at cinema, and I thought it was an absolutely stunning film.
It's a good film, isn't it? Okay, you've got a slasher icon, which will attract like your horror fans, but it's generally a good film.
Yeah. I was going to say the only thing that was wrong with the film, and that's obviously because I didn't know about the other films, and he's supposed to be supernatural, he's not human, was when he crushes that bloke's head with his foot. I went, that's a bit stupid. But
yeah, it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
But yeah, I did go back and watch the original.
I think this time last year I saw it at the cinema. They re-released it on 4K, didn't they? I'm in two minds about the original, to be honest. I like it. I enjoy it.
It holds up.
It's as good as people make out to be. I think it's one of those films that I know that I'm sort of like a bit alone in this theory, but it's like I didn't watch my first memories of Halloween was it was on TV, and me and my sister had to go to bed early, but we watched the first 5 minutes, and then in the morning we all went into Mum's bedroom and said, "Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened?" I think my mum played it down and said, "Oh, he was the bogeyman." And right at the end, they were like putting coat hangers for his eyes, and then he got shot and he just vanished. And it's like, oh, okay. And then sort of like, 10, 15 years later, I watched it, and all I was expecting was a bogeyman with a coat hanger on his eye and like getting shot. So I kind of played it down, and then I watched Halloween 2 straight after, which wasn't as good a film, obviously, but I preferred it because it was more action based and everything. So, and I think just maybe it's just my feelings on it, rather than actually John Carpenter's masterpiece, so on and so forth. So,
well, I watched the first one immediately after I watched the new one, and obviously you get a lot more context as to what's going on with the new one there. And I thought it actually held up way better than I thought it was going to be a really schlocky load of crap, but it was actually a good film. The only criticism I had was that Michael is dressed up in his outfit and he's walking around in broad daylight and no one takes any notice.
Excuse me, everything all right there? Excuse me. Or like a phone call to the police, wasn't it? It's like there's somebody with a boiler suit standing outside my house with a funny, fucked up man. But then, having said that, it's based around Halloween. So it's like Americans are big into Halloween, and it's like, is that an element that you have to take into account? But I definitely ask questions and then die, but
I'm going to watch the new one again because it's on Netflix now, so I'm going to sit down and watch that. Yeah. So I've been dying to get on Blu-ray and I haven't picked it up yet, so I need to do that.
I'm pretty sure, where is it? Pretty sure I got it on 4K somewhere. Oh no, it's not 4K. Yeah, it's 4K.
See, I've given up on the whole 4K thing. There's a whole other thing in it. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Have you got a 4K telly? Did we have this conversation?
Yeah, 4K TV, Blu-ray. I've stopped buying the films because basically 4K is bullshit. It's all fake. So.
Well, no, that's it. You can't see it, can you? Can't see it. But that's like 30 quid. And
exactly.
Halloween for like £6. It's like.
Well, I don't know how much you've looked into it, but this is my point, right? Because all the stuff you read and watch on YouTube and everything, and most of the films seem to be 2K remasters, which they've just upscaled to 4K, and they're charging me double the price, so they can kiss my ass on that one. And now apparently they're finding out that HDR is fake and most of it isn't real HDR. So.
Do you know, I believe that because the only film that I've seen that really has taken my breath away was Mad Max Fury Road, when he's driving into the storm, and it's like the depth of those clouds is like, oh my god, you're actually going in. It's like a 3D image. It's like unreal.
I was watching a video the other day. I caught some random channel. It's an English kid who does Blu-ray collecting, and he was talking about a video one of the bigger YouTubers has done when they got the equipment to test this. And they tested Blade Runner 2049, which is supposed to be one of the best 4K Blu-rays. And when he did the test, he found that basically it wasn't hitting the amount of nits or whatever it is you need to get HDR, so it wasn't actually HDR at all. It's bullshit. And apparently the art director, whoever it is who worked on the film, said that he hates HDR, and that's why he muted the colours and everything, because it was an artistic choice. And I was like, well, hang on, how can you sell the film as having HDR if it hasn't got?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting, isn't it? Because it's like we are sold that dream.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when Blu-ray first came out, and it wasn't that far off of DVD. And it's like, how can you do that?
It was difficult at the beginning. I had HD DVD, and I had obviously we had 720p TVs at that point. We were that low down, so we were never getting the full amount anyway. So you know, I just to me, it's really the financial side as well. I just think, what's the point of paying 20-25 quid for a 4K that's probably upscaled when I can just buy 10 quid, 6 quid Blu-ray, shove it in my Blu-ray player, and 4K upscale myself. Yeah. You know, but take your choices.
Of course you do. I mean, I go off it, and there's a lot of films out there that I haven't watched, like when I bought it. So it's a case of now, obviously, I'm kind of like collecting to look at it, you know, collecting to sort of like have that steelbook, and to get that 4K steelbook over Blu-ray is worth the extra, you know, to be able to look at it and put it in the collection. So, but I'm fully with you on the 4K bullshit thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a bit of an annoying thing because we do need to support physical media, because as you know, they are trying to get rid of it. I don't personally think it will go away. I mean, CDs, when Napster came around, and definitely CDs, when overseas, you can still buy them now in 2020. Albums are coming out. Yeah. So as long as there's a market for it, you might see an increase in price maybe because the market has dropped. But I don't think Blu-rays and that will still be around. I don't think we'll get 8K though.
That really is pointless.
Yeah,
that really exactly. Is pointless because your eyes just cannot see that. It might look great, it might look flawless, but then 4K done right looks flawless and great. So, yeah.
And it can go too far with old films as well. It's like you don't need to have all that detail. It kind of, like I was watching John Flickster say about Back to the Future, and the Blu-ray itself is really, really clear. Yeah. If you get the 4K one, you're going to start seeing the prosthetics on Doc's face. It ain't going to look like
it. Don't want to see that. Yeah, don't want that to ruin, do you?
No, exactly. So, to wrap up, Steve, what's the future of your channel now? What are you going to be doing, and what's the future you're collecting as well, for that matter?
Interesting question. So, again, like the collecting is still books. Film is where it's predominantly at. Pretty much the same as before. Really, pickups. Just going to be focused on like Star Wars figures and things like that. So, probably go more towards films and toys rather than games. Games are still going to be always around. So, but yeah, toys and films, I would say, is the future of GasheadSteve's channel.
That's it. Follow your passion. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, I want to thank you for coming onto my channel. I really do appreciate it, Steve. We are good friends, so it makes it easier. Yeah. But thanks for taking the time to come and have this conversation.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me anyway.
No worries. Thank you, Steve.